Alright everybody, welcome today. My name is Nick, here with O3 Drop. So, I decided last week at my locals that I was going to go ahead and run the YoloHan one more time. So I do have a couple of games that I am going to be bringing you guys. We have this one plus one more. Now, this is actually a really interesting deck that he has here. This is the cell leader, but it's Universe Meg, which obviously for those of you who don't know, basically that universe that's all about love and whatever that everybody hates. I call that Universe Meg because everybody hates it, including me. Fuck that universe. Alright, so starting out, I mulligan 5 cards because I'm a bad man and that's how I roll. I have no idea who won the dice roll though because I wasn't paying attention. And it looks like he did. So Khalifa down his energy and playing the create android. So with me playing this pan, the thing is, I didn't want to leave it on the field like I normally would because I knew that he would just use the cell ability and pop it, and I really wanted to get the draw effect from it. To be honest, in most cases, I wouldn't want to actually swing on this turn necessarily. Because again, I only want you to get down to 5 or 6 life before I go for my, game-winning turn. And I wasn't actually quite ready to swing yet, but I kind of had to just so I could use the pan. So back to his turn, he goes ahead and taps the 2 greens to play down the Kaaba. So he's going to look at the top 10 for either a Khalifa or a Kale. And it looks like he does find the Kale, so that is going to go into his hand. I like how I tell you guys that this is a Universe Meg deck, and then here we have the Kaabas, Khalifas, and Kales. So he is going to go ahead and swing with his leader, and I'll just take the damage. Now, this is actually one of my favorite plays to do with this deck at this point, is on turn 2, go ahead and play the Mighty Mask. Especially against veggies, because what this allows me to do is now I can go and I can search for the Goten, which will let me pop his Kaaba, and then I can also grab a super combo. I can't remember how much I took advantage of this last week, but I know, or the week before, but I know last week I definitely played it when I could. Alright, and so here he's playing one of the Universe Meg cards, which lets him look at the top 7, I believe it is, to find another Universe Meg card and add it to his hand. And again, he is going to go ahead and swing with his leader here. And again, I will just go ahead and take that damage. One thing about this YoloHan deck is if you don't draw the TN early, it can really put you behind. I think last week I got really lucky with getting the TN in my opening hand, and it made the deck run really smoothly. However, if you don't have TN in one of your first couple of hands, like, it really does put you behind. So definitely, if you do decide to play this deck, hard mulligan for the TN because you really do need it. To be honest, it was to the point that I considered actually putting in the 4th TN just to make sure that I got it. The only reason I didn't is because it does take 2 energies to combo with, and in a deck when you don't get to redo your energies, that's kind of a lot. Now, I went ahead and tried to swing with the Mighty Mask, so that way I could combo with the Goten to pop his Kaaba. Unfortunately, he did do the negate, and he did discard a card to pop the Mighty Mask, so I never got to use its effect. But I still did get to clear the Kaaba. It was important to me to be able to do that because with the Kaba on board going into this turn, that would allow him to play a Kale while still having one energy open for a negate. So I did want to try my best to make sure that, you know, if he does play a Kale this turn, he has to pay the cost for it. Alright, so let's see what he chooses to do here. It's pretty scary knowing that with the cell leader, I can't necessarily leave stuff on the field because, you know, he can just pop it. And so, you know, that's definitely something you have to pay attention to whenever you play against this leader. So now, what this card does is it lets you grab 2 of the Universe Meg cards from your discard pile that cost, I believe it's 4 or less, and play them. And, you know, I've never actually played against any of these cards, so I have to read everything. Honestly, I still don't remember what any of them do. That was the one universe that I was like, even if this somehow ends up being the best tier deck, I'm just not playing it because of how annoying they were in the anime. Like, I will lose with a random deck, YoloHan, before I played this deck, even if it was top tier. So after that, he does go ahead and pass. So if I recall correctly, the Hoopa looking one with the 6 hands was a blocker with 20k. And then the other one, I think it might have had barrier. Or maybe that's a 2-drop. I don't know. One of them had barrier. It was pretty obnoxious. So back to my turn. Go ahead and charge the 4th energy here and try to figure out what I want to do. I think one of the big things that I was worried about was him evolving the 2-drop into the... What is it, a 4 or 5 drop? So there's a forcing hit. And it looks like he only has 2 targets for me to pick from. So, but that also gave me information about his hand, because now I know he has a negate left, and he has the create android. So right now I have him sitting at 6 life, and I'm also at 6 life. So it looks like he did just draw the super combo. Honestly, I really hate that super combo. I think that plus Cell Chain plus the new Mira is just a little bit much. And now that the Ginyu deck is probably going to be going away with the next set, I think Cell Chain is going to make a huge comeback, and that makes me kind of nervous because that is not a fun deck to play against. So it looks like he's trying to decide what he wants to discard with the create android, and he actually discards the super combo. And there is the Kaba. So again, he'll look at the top 10 for a Khalifa or a Kale. And there's a Khalifa. And that right there is why you want to try to leave your opponent at 6 life a lot of the time, is because if they're, you know, at 5 life, they could do something like that right there and just, you know, awaken themselves. And so here he plays the Mira to make me discard a card. The reason that I picked the Topo was because I knew there was not probably going to be a turn where I kept the 3 or 2 energies out that I needed. Also because right now neither one of our leaders are awakened, so I couldn't have used the Topo anyway. And so I figured, okay, well, based on that, that's probably the best card to get rid of then. So then he's just going to go ahead and pass. Now, as of right now, he has 5 life, and he has 1 energy open and 1 blocker on field. With 5 open energies and hit already being on field, I think at this point I wanted to see if I could swing for game. Because I had a feeling he was going to negate this. Because I knew he had the negate because I played the hit. However, he didn't negate it, so that did just let a double strike go through. So this could put him at 3 life, which is in range for my leader. The other thing was I was also trying to draw for a TN. So here I'm going to swing again. And he's going to negate this one and pop the combo, it looks like. So I do choose to take the life still. So here I'm showing him that there are 7 cards, and I go ahead and play the Scientist Fu. So it looks like he is going to go ahead and block that attack. Now I'm going to tap 2 to play down the TN. And he's going to awaken. So right now my attack is sitting at 35, so he would have to get to 40 to block. I'm not sure how worth that really is at this point for him, because he has to do that with 0 energies. So I mean that would end up being a couple of super combos or a lot of 5Ks. So he did save the blocker, but I also got rid of a Khalifa. And then I went ahead and used the Tien ability. And that let me awaken. So I decided to use the Tien ability again to pop the Kaba. So I think at this point I decided that I was going to go ahead and try to swing for game. And so I used the Tien ability to, one, give me an extra card in my hand, but also to make sure that he couldn't combo with a Kaba. So I get the 5K from the leader, so that puts me at 20. Trunks puts me at 30. Those two put me at 40, 50, 60K. And I believe that's going to be game. Yep, that's going to be game. So thank you guys for watching. If y'all have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will see y'all in the next video.